Hey guys, it is me, the West Man. This is my one stall garage. Back out here today, kind of a warm one. Worked up a bit of a sweat cleaning up this place. I had to retire my S10 as a daily driver. All right guys, this is my 2012 GMC Sierra. Extended cab, 4-wheel drive. It is actually the WT model, so it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but what it does have is a lot of bird poop. They kind of hang out on that electrical wire up there and they poop on it. I have bought a 2-inch leveling kit. Bastards, those dirty birds. Actually, I bought one of those for my truck and for my son's 2011 Silverado as well. But I want to get that leveling kit put on it. And those tires, they're in great shape. There's probably not a ton of miles on those. I bought a set of new tires for it. They're same size, but they're a lot more aggressive. And, you know, the truck is silver, but the wheels are just gray. So we are going to get those wheels popped off. We're going to sand them down, and I'm going to do them black. We're going to get this thing jacked up, get the front wheels popped off, get started on that leveling kit. I'll let you take a quick look at those new tires. I bought them when I bought the truck. I've been sitting out here in the backyard for, well, since then, 3 months or so. And I haven't got them mounted yet. I want to get those wheels painted, get the leveling kit on. And here's my new tires, BF Goodrich all-terrains. And as you can see, they're just a lot more aggressive. I think that a truck will just have a tougher look. So anyway, I'm gonna turn you guys off for just long enough to get things set up, and we will get ready to jump into this. Thanks. Look out. Watch out. Here it comes. Yeah, baby. So I got her jacked up, got the wheels off, got it on jack stands, want to be safe. I'm looking forward to getting this thing done. I know this is a 10mm, and we got to take off these little brake line brackets. Get those out of the way. There we go. I put a ratcheting wrench on there. It's a 12-point, and it just started to slip. So that's how I already knew it was a 10mm. And I actually, no lie, went and got my 6-point. But I couldn't find it at first. It had eluded me. This one a little tap. Now maybe I can get my little ratchet wrench on there and now maybe spin them off. I'm just going to put this little bolt back in there so I don't lose it. I'm not sure, but I might have to run to Harbor Freight, which is just up the road a piece and around the corner. Actually, it's a mile up the road and turn left and probably a half a mile over to the store. I need a 20, 21, 22, something like that, and you might not have that. So I will double check those and have to go get them. You might already be there. All right, I gotta get that bottom tie rod broke loose. That's a 21. I guess I'm going to go this way. I need to break those, you know, separate those, but I don't want to hit on the tie rod. I want to just hit that steering knuckle right there. I might have to go in and get my bigger hammer, but just put the nut back on and set this aside. Then I'm going to loosen up the bottom bolts of that strut. What size is that? I try to use my gloves when I can, but then sometimes it just, you know, you can't get the feel. That is a 15. I am going to go grab my short extension, and I'll be back in a flash. We used to have a Sears just up the street. You know, they closed that location, and I always had Craftsman tools because they were just right there. And now I've got a couple of Craftsman ratchets that aren't working so great, and really no place around here to, you know, replace them at. So you have to send them in. I'll set that up there for a minute. And it happens usually when you're needing them. And this direction selector on this one is starting to get funky. Ball bearing there is not coming out the way it's supposed to, and it's not holding my... I should probably just go in and grab the other one. Okay, there's that one. There's a couple of wires up on top where the strut, the 3 bolts for the struts on top that have some connectors on it, holding some wires up there. Let's see if I can pop those off. Maybe need a bigger screwdriver. I don't know if I can reach them from up above or not. Actually, I cannot right now. I'll have to get a ladder or something if I need to reach them that way. There's one. It's just like a little plastic nut that has a clip on it, and there's some wire loom. There's 2. I guess all I needed was that bigger screwdriver. There's the 3rd one. I am now going to leave you again so I can go grab a bottle jack and a couple of blocks, because once I separate this top A-arm, this is going to get heavy. This is my 15mm socket for my sway bar end link. Need to disconnect that. When the ratchet slips off and you bang your wrist on your rotor and take several layers of skin off, it kind of looks like that there. I should invest in a battery, you know, cordless 3/8 impact for this kind of stuff. This is kind of long-winded. There's probably a good solid inch of threads. Let me show you. Holding that sway bar end link bushing on. You got to be able to see that right here. And it's not hard to get to. Plenty of room for it. I got the wrench kind of wedged up there on top. Oop! That's what happened when it was tight. Some sort of plastic coating or something. Ooh! Get that top bushing off. Get a little leverage on that, right? Kind of lift that a hair and pull your spacer out. So I'm just going to slide this back together so I know which way everything went. Keep all my hardware together. I am probably going to run all this stuff on a wire wheel and put some anti-seize on it before I put it back together. Okay, next thing is I have to disconnect the steering knuckle at the top of my spindle, and that's the one I'm not sure that I have that size. What is that? What is that? That's 21. That's too big. Is that the 18? There's an 18. Yep, that's the 18. All right, the air ratchet was pretty loud. Yeah, the air compressor and the ratchet. I couldn't get it from down below, so I actually had to go up above, step on my step ladder and get it that way, but those 3 came loose. I need to take a little pressure off of this lower control arm, jack that up a little bit so I can let the other jack down. This one's a little shorter, and I didn't leave any room. Instead of jacking the other jack up, screwed the inside, you know, worm gear up. Now I can't drop the lower control arm down. I can now. Wish I had a little more. I'll stick that on that side. There. Now we can lower that down, take the pressure off the strut. Should be able to lift that thing out of there. And just like that, comes right out. Okay, so I am going to take this inside the shop. I'm going to relocate you guys, and we'll do the next part. You can tell the box has been in the garage for a while. It's almost as dirty as I am. A couple of spacers and a hardware kit. 6 nuts, 6 bolts. Installation instruction. Actually, that just goes through some pictures on how to take it apart. Install the supplied bolts into the leveling kit spacer. These will act as new studs when reinstalled. Bolt the spacer to the top of the strut. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. These are going to screw up through. Okay, let me see if I have. And let me grab these.
Motion detected at the front door.
Let's see what we have here. What's your guess gonna be? Ha ha ha. That never happens anymore. Okay, I am going to put a little Loctite on these as I thread them through. Oh, Jesus, when I said a little, I didn't mean that much. I'm gonna screw these through. These will act as the new studs that mount to the top of the strut tower. And we're gonna crank those down. We don't want those to come loose, so I just wanted to go ahead and put on a little bit of Loctite. Well, I really can't tell. I'm old enough that I can't see what that says anymore. So I'm just gonna tell you that it says something. Just an external torque socket set. Big old Allen wrench kind of a deal. And there's 3 of them, 3 for each side. I'm just going to go ahead and put those in the other one while I've got the Loctite and stuff out. Usually the music I play in the background of my videos is my son's band, Neverwake. And I got permission from the guys in the band and stuff to play their music in my videos. No hassles, no worries, all that. But they are signed on a record label. Their CDs are copyrighted. So even though I have permission, I am not allowed to use my own son's band's music in my videos. I can at this point because I only have like 6 subscribers or something. I'm not monetized or nothing. I don't make no money from this at all. So I could use it now if I wanted, but anything as I grow, I will be penalized for using that music in the future. I've got to come across some of that royalty-free stuff, and there's not been much of it that I really care for on, my style of music, really. There, I'm going to take that one and set it aside. That's the way it's already prepped for the other side. Anyway, being that said, I don't know what I'm going to do for some music, but I'm going to do something. Okay, so what we got to do now, these things, the holes in those are going to slide over. They only go on one way. So they said just going to go on like that. But you can see the tops of these studs off of the strut, they stick out. So we are going to need to cut the tips of those off so this can sit up in the socket on the top of the strut tower and sit flush. So with that being said, I am going to screw these nuts on. I am going to go get a wrench to screw those nuts on.
Motion detected at the front door.
It's just me! I'm just gonna spin that a little bit off the edge so I can get those on and drop my wrench. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna screw these on just past that tip, and then I'm gonna get my zip cut out, and I am gonna cut the end of those off, and then I can screw these nuts back off, and it'll just clean this, any jagged edge of the stud that I've kind of messed up a little bit with the zip cut. It'll just clean them right back up as I take them off. And again, I dropped the wrench. That's going to roll right off there if I don't hold on to it. I bet you those coming off were 18s. I bet these new nuts, I bet, are not 18. I bet they are probably 17 because of the wonderful things he does. Yeah. I don't want to catch that on the boys again. Let me grab my gloves real quick.
Motion detected at the front door.
Nah, it's just me again. Alexa, don't worry about it. I'm just here out in the garage. Hey, Alexa. Thank you for being concerned about me. You are concerned about me, aren't you, Alexa? Hey, Alexa, do you love me?
I don't have human love figured out quite yet.
Don't have human love quite figured out yet. All right, this is going to get loud for a second, guys. I'm going to buzz the tops of these studs off. So it's just a couple of threads past the nipple. Take that, put this back in here, move that over there. Now I'm just going to run those back off across the threads I cut. Okay. Spacer thickness and lift amount is not a 1-to-1 ratio. Example, if you ordered a 2-inch kit, the spacer will measure less than 2 inches thick, but will provide 2 inches of lift. That is it. Okay. All right, guys, I am done for the night. I am filthy, dirty, and what a mess. However, I did get the driver's side finished. It just had gotten too dark. Couldn't film anything. I mean, I tried to film some stuff, but you couldn't see anything on the camera. So still got the passenger side to do. So tomorrow in the daylight, we showed you taking apart the driver's side. So we'll high speed through the passenger side, and then I'll show you guys putting them back together. It was really not too bad. There was a couple of parts where it was kind of tough. Sliding the strut unit back up in, I had to lift that upper control arm. And to do that and keep one hand on the bottom of the strut to lift and one hand on the top to angle it in, I had to lift up the upper control arm as well. So I put a crowbar, this crowbar on my shoulder and lifted and wedged it up. It was a mess, but it was only once I figured that out, it only took a minute to get it lined up, get a bolt started. It went back together just as smooth as it came apart. The other side should go smooth because now I know what I'm doing. Oh, hey guys, there you are. Hey, next morning I am back. So let's get the garage opened up and get back to work on that passenger side. All right, guys, we are back. It's next morning, getting ready to start on the passenger side. Last night, you got to see me take the driver's side all apart and get that strut with the lift block prepped and ready to go back on, but then it got dark and there was just no way that I could get that set up for you to see it. So I'm going to kind of high speed through taking apart the passenger side, and then we'll slow it back down, bring it right on down so you can see me put it back together. Okay, that is disconnected. Now let's see if we can go ahead and grab this nut, and we'll lower this jack down some and see if we can pull this strut down out of here. And it's out. All right, so let's move you back over there to the welding table / temporary workbench, and we'll get that thing on here. All right, so just like yesterday, we're gonna go ahead and spin these nuts on a couple of turns so we can zip cut the end of those studs off and put our lift block on. I guess you could call it a lift block. I am going to grab the deep well socket real quick so I can go on a couple of more threads. My old buddy Reggie's in the shop with me today. Come here, Reg. Yes. Reggie's a big kisser, and he hates the air hose. Let me get these cranked on, Reg. That's one nipple. You should always be careful when you're playing with your nipples. Normally, it's not a good thing to cut off a nipple, but in this case, a necessity. Now truly, that is only real modifications you have to make when putting this leveling kit on, because those stick up far enough that they'll protrude past the end of your lift block, and we can't have that because this has to sit up flush into your strut tower. And by putting those nuts on there first, I mentioned yesterday, once you back them back off, kind of cleans the ends of those threads right up so you don't have to worry about restarting them when you put them back on. Now I'll grab my lift block. Now you remember yesterday I went ahead and put these new studs in, put a little Loctite on them. They go in from the back and they're recessed so they sit in. These only go on one way because you have to clock this strut 180 degrees. So gotta make sure it'll only go one way. So I got lucky there, got it on the first shot. Again, I mentioned it yesterday, but I'll say it again. They say that there's no torque specs for these. You just want to make sure that they're good and tight. Gotta crank those down, good and tight. Okay, that is that. Now I don't know if I showed it last night, yesterday, the day before today, evening last, but these right here, these kind of castle nut kind of deals, I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and show you. We're gonna pop those off. It'll just come off with the screwdriver. I'll show you. Just like that. There's one. There's the other one. I don't know what you want to call these. Nut something, bolt something, castle. That's not a castle nut. But anyway, these are threaded. And there's a groove on each side of the strut here on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that there, right here where my screwdriver is. And these nut clips have these little flanges on them, and they grip into those, and that's what holds the bolts tight when you put those on. Now, trying to get those to line up once you put the bolt through the lower control arm and up through this strut base, it's hard to get them lined up. So you can get those bolts in there from the bottom, just kind of run them up with your socket and ratchet, and once you get them up through far enough, just like these ones on the top, they got those little nipples on the top before they spread out into the threads, and it'll really help you to line those up and design pretty smooth. Also, this factory tag here on the strut faces outward, and with the lift block in, because you have to set the spacer down over the original studs, we have to clock this 180 degrees so that sticker there will be facing the back. That way, that front stud off the lift spacer is now facing up front, and that is all there is to putting the lift block on. Now I'm gonna reset you up again back out there, and we are gonna start putting this together. Now, if you remember, we're gonna clock this thing 180 degrees so that original tag is now in the back, so that this front stud lines up out front in the shock tower. This part is the worst part of it. Getting this thing up in there, kind of holding that up, getting these things out of the way. This was the worst part, and it took, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. So let's see if we can get that done. Okay, let's get that out of the way again. Kind of hold that one. Actually, that was a lot smoother than the last time, I guess because I've done it before. And we're going to start that first bolt up on the shock tower. That first one is in. So now we're going to have to lower the jack down, get that lower control arm to fall some so that we can, there. I can't believe it went that smooth, but I'm not going to complain. Now we're going to see if we can get these bolts started. See if we can get that other one partially up through. Oh, I gotta run back out there and grab my ratchet. Forgot that. Sorry about that. 17. I believe what we want down there is the 15. Let's see if we can pop that up a little bit. Last night I could only go a little bit, and then started lifting the truck. There, it's coming up through. Now, before we push that down, that clip where it locks into the bottom of the strut, we want to try to get that started first, because it's just hard to line up and get going. Once it starts grabbing, and it has, turn that a little. Where's that big screwdriver? There it is. Start it up through. Here comes the bolt. Get our little nut clip on there, and they suck down, they'll pop right into place. Okay, here comes the worst part of the whole thing, is getting that lower control arm jacked back up enough that we can get that upper control arm. How did I do that now? Okay, now I'm starting to lift the truck, so we don't want to do any more. Okay, like I said, this is the worst part. Now I got to hook onto there, pull that down, and again, way easier than the other side. I'm just guessing. It was dark last night. I couldn't see very well. Get my brake line thing out of there. I'm going to pop this tie rod back out now so I can get in there and crank that down. What was that? The 18, I believe, right? Where did I put my 18? There's my 15. We know it's not that one. My May. Oh, there. Yep, there it is. I flip that every time, I can get a much better bite on it. Now I can take this bungee cord off that we had holding it. Okay guys, that was the installation of the passenger side. It says on my timer that it took 33 minutes and 4 seconds, and that side is all together, tightened up on top, and the driver's side we did last night, all put together, tightened on top. Regular tires are back on it, down on the ground, jack's out. I think that looks way better. Sits up straight, level. I can definitely tell, and I'm sure that you can, that is not taking the nosedive anymore. That thing sits up like a four-wheel drive should now. I'm anxious. As soon as I cut this off, I'm going to jack it back up, get those wheels off the front, and start getting them cleaned up and painted. Once I get the wheels painted, I'm gonna go get the tires mounted. Like I said, I want to get that front end alignment done. They recommend that. I didn't hear it beep. Every time we start it, there's a bunch of cars that come by. Well, pause it. Let's start over. All right, everybody. Oh, fuck. Start over. Action. I'm rolling.
Yeah.
I'm on
go.
camera.
Yes, go.
Hey, it is me, the West Man. I'm back. I started on this yesterday, didn't get it finished up, started to rain, did get the front wheels painted. Hey guys, it's me, back in the garage for like the 30th take. Camera seems to be. It seems to be.
Break.
Yeah, it seems to be shutting off. Hold please, let's start over. Hi Ginger.
Hi, and if you put me on your video, I'm gonna be pissed.
Here, let's try that again then.
No!
Hi Ginger.
Hi, Wes.
1, 2, 3,
You're covered in
4,
dog hair.
5. Look at that, I am covered in dog hair. I just about got this taped off. One of the reasons I wanted to get these wheels painted before I had my new tires put on is in case I get a little bit of overspray on them while I'm painting them, they won't be on the new tire. Trying to go for an all-at-once cool look on the truck. Well, like I said, I love the truck. I love the way it was before. I just thought these were a couple of inexpensive things that I could do to really make it look better.
Now that's gone, we only fight ourselves, 'cause we're never wrong. We're born to roam around our trunks. We either help ourselves or we hang and choke.
All right, guys, I am back. It is later the same night, It started raining earlier, just downpouring. Had to take a break for a little bit because I'm working outside. And then my daughter and her husband came over for a little while and visited. So I did get those back 2 wheels finished up and I got them bolted on. I need to get a new set of center caps because those ones all rattle. I'll let you spin you around, see if we can take a look. Yeah, you're just not gonna be able to see that at all. But there's the tailgate, you can see that. I thought there would be enough light maybe from the garage shining out, but anyway, the back wheels are on it, and the front wheels, of course, the leveling kit. Hey guys, today is the day that we are going down to the tire place, and we're gonna get a front end alignment on the Sierra and get those tires mounted. So I got the tires all up here in the back of the truck. The Sierra is ready to go. So I'm gonna go get my granddaughter, Layla, and she's gonna go with us. All right, this is my helper, Layla, today. Layla is gonna go with me. We're gonna go get my front end alignment done and our tires mounted. And what do you say, Layla? Maybe we can go out and get something to eat. We buckle in for safety.
Hey, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, nice. More?
More. I can't.
Well, hold on, we are driving down the hill. Some traffic on our way to the tire place. I'll give you a close-up.
Papa,
You're gonna film. Pointing at the truck, watch me.
So where do you want to go to eat, Papa? Can we go in and get ice cream after?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got the printout here from the alignment. If you see right here in red, toe, my left was at 35 degrees and my right front tire was at 70 degrees. They fixed that. They brought it back in at 0. It's now at 5 degrees and 5 degrees. All right, guys, this is it. Got the wheels done. The lift is on. The tires have been mounted. Truck is looking pretty darn good. For now, we're gonna wrap up this video. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I am the West Man. That right there is my one stall garage. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Sorry about the traffic. It just seems to never stop here. It actually wasn't very expensive and it wasn't very hard at all. The kit I got was from MotoFab and it was 70 bucks, free shipping from Amazon. The front end alignment was, I think it said $65, but I had them mount and balance my tires as well. So the grand total was $144. It was $200. I guess a little bit over that with the mounting and balancing. It was $70 to buy it, $65 for the alignment, and $70 or so, I guess, for the mounting and balancing of the tires.